The UK's hosting of the G7 summit ended today as leaders left Cornwall with a final statement that included COVID vaccine donations and more action on climate change. The Prime Minister denied that the summit had been dominated by rifts over post-Brexit arrangements in Northern Ireland, saying that that issue was a vanishingly small part of the meeting. He also said he would be putting out a whole package of information tomorrow about the next stage of lockdown easing in England. From St Ives, here's our political editor, Laura Kuenssberg.
Ready for a fortifying early dip? Boris Johnson wanted to show off the British seaside to the most powerful leaders in the world, but has ended up going headlong into a clash on the side with the French president, who it's claimed questioned whether Northern Ireland was really part of the UK. The spectacle of the summit seemed immaculate. The more bracing reality, perhaps not so inviting.
And I know that the world was looking to us to reject some of the selfishness and nationalistic approaches that have marred the initial global response to the pandemic. I do hope that we have lived up to some of the most optimistic of hopes and predictions.
Were you offended by President Macron's comments in your meeting yesterday about Northern Ireland's place in the UK?
I think it's the job of the government of the United Kingdom to uphold the territorial integrity of the United Kingdom. I think it was a point I made to you yesterday, and actually that subject occupied a vestigial, vanishingly small proportion of our deliberations.
And you've listed what you believe to be the achievements of this summit, but health and environmental campaigners are really clear that they hoped it would go further. Do you wish you'd been able to push your fellow leaders to give even greater commitments?
$2.5 billion pledged for girls' education already. That's not half bad. And a new global campaign to help countries around the world to build back better, cleaner and greener. I think it's been a highly productive few days.
This global gathering is important for all sorts of reasons. It seems a good first connection between the Prime Minister and the American President. But the UK and the EU seem stuck again, pointing the finger at each other over Northern Ireland. Remember, as part of the Brexit deal, it still has to follow some EU rules. The Prime Minister's frustration, how tightly Brussels wants them enforced. European leaders angered, believing the UK is trying to slide out of what it agreed.
On ne peut pas, honnêtement, créer des polémiques chaque matin sur des sujets comme ceux-ci.
Honestly, we can't create disagreements every morning about these serious issues, said the French president. We just want the agreement to be respected. But the American president's 12-vehicle convoy rolled out of this tiny Cornish town. He wanted to leave behind a much bigger message, that after all the turbulence of Trump, he wants to work with the rest of the world.
I felt, it wasn't about me, but it was about America. I felt a genuine sense of enthusiasm that America was back at the table and fully engaged.
Big promises have been made on vaccines, on climate change, but there are blanks in the black and white over how those vows will be kept. And the Cornish air certainly hasn't blown away Brexit tensions. But overall, this summit has been a major statement of intent from the most powerful politicians in the West, that after a year of crisis, countries can do more together than working apart. However spectacular the surroundings, summits can't just be political love-ins. Prime ministers and presidents may have ambition in common, but ideas can clash. Postcard images don't make political problems disappear for good.